Okay guys, yesterday we drew out our color wheel like this. We divided the circle into 12 even sections, or as even as we could get because I told you guys to eyeball it. And we also made the chart at the bottom like this. If you were not here yesterday, I'd like for you to pause the video at this time and be sure to write in the information that's in the chart below. And also make sure that you label your color wheel exactly as mine is labeled here. Okay? I also strongly encourage you guys to open up your textbook to page 90. That's the orange textbook, so that you can look at the different colors and how the color wheel should look as you're doing this assignment. Okay, the first thing you want to do is you want to create a pattern design in each one of the sections. Now, you can do a pattern design that's exactly the same all the way throughout, or you can be creative and you can do multiple designs or two designs that complement each other, for example. So I'm just going to take my ruler and start making some lines that create patterns, like so. And I'm not going to do a lot of measuring, I'm just going to eyeball it, but you are more than welcome to measure everything out if you desire. Some of you are OCD, I get that, I'm a little OCD myself, and you're more than welcome to do that. And then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to create a complementary pattern on the other side. Now, because I don't want to be totally boring and just have lines, I'm going to add some circles too, some polka dots. Going to try to make sure they're evenly spaced. And then I'm going to do another line. Also going to create some triangles. Try to give it a little bit of variety. And you do not need to mimic what I am doing here. That would be cheating. You can use some of my ideas, but don't copy it exactly. Just use this as an example or a guide to help you. So that's going to be that part of the pattern. I'm going to put another circle here, and another circle here. And then over here I'm going to make the circle go off the section, and then I'll complete that whenever I do the other side. And now I'm just going to put an outer circle on there and continue that over here. Now if I wanted to, I could continue drawing that in all this this triangles, and I could continue to make that pattern all the way through like I've done here. That would be really cool. I think it would look really nice. But for time's sake, I'm just going to do these two sections so that I can get started and show you how to color. Okay, so really quick, your colored pencils. These are all the colored pencils that you have. You have a blue, you have a black, and I'm going to talk about how you would use that later. You have a light blue, a white, and I'll talk about how you will use that white along with the black later. You have a green, a yellow green, you have an orange. The paint on the outside looks like red, but it's orange. The difference between orange and red is going to be that one of them is red-orange. And then you have a violet. It says purple, but we call it violet. And then here's your red. Your red looks pink for some strange reason. And then you have a yellow. Okay, The two sections that I completed are violet and red violet. So I'm going to focus on violet first. So here's my violet. And to create contrast in your pattern, we're going to make sure that we press down harder when we color in some sections versus doing it in some of the other sections lightly. So this first section, I'm going to color down pretty hard. So I'm going to press down really hard with my colored pencil to get lots of coverage, lots of pigment coverage here. And then when I do the next section, I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. Not going to press down as hard. So it's going to make it look like this section is lighter in violet than that section. And then on the next section, I'm going to press down kind of with a medium weight. So it's a little bit darker than that first one. I'm sorry, a little bit lighter than that first one, but a little bit darker than the second one. And this time, to get a darker value, I'm going to take the black colored pencil and I'm just going to lightly go over it. Don't press down really hard because you don't want to cover up the the violet with black pigment. You just want enough black pigment on there that it makes it look darker from a distance. Changes the value of it to a darker value, because that's how you change the values to make them darker, is you add black. When we get ready to paint, you'll add black paint to colors to change the value. Now I'm going to go through and I'm going to use the same amount of pressure again to do the next one. But this time I'm going to take the white colored pencil and I'm going to color over the violet with white. And that's going to lighten the value some, so that it looks more like lavender instead of violet. So it is a lighter value. So you can see there I have regular violet, that's a pure hue. I have a lighter violet that I created by not pressing down as hard. Then I have a darker violet that I created by adding a little bit of black over it. And I have a lighter violet that I created by adding the white over it. And so I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to press down in the next section with the same amount of pressure that I did in the very first one. And you're just going to keep doing this back and forth pattern until you get the whole section colored. Now everything in this particular piece of the pizza, this particular slice, has to be violet because that's the violet section. You can't use any other color in this section except for violet. And then to do the three on the inside, I'm going to lightly color again, just barely pressing down with my colored pencil. Like so. And then when I do this one, I am going to go over it with the black colored pencil again, because that's what's next in the order of things that I did before. Because remember, you're creating patterns, and patterns are motifs that are repeated. Make sure that as you're coloring, you use really good craftsmanship. Don't be messy. Make sure you blend in the colors really well. Try to go in the same direction. I will be taking off points for craftsmanship on this assignment, so make sure that you use good craftsmanship. Take your time, make it look good, but don't slack off. Don't daydream. Stay consistently busy. And now I'm going to do these sections and put the white over the top of it. Like so. And then I'm going to go over that with the white to make it look like that lavender color. When you're looking at this up close like I am right now, it's kind of probably going to look a little funny, like it's not really made that much of a difference. But as you can see, as the viewer in the video, it really is making a difference. You can see a difference between every little section that I've created here. So kind of keep that in mind as you're working. Okay, and I'm going to make these 3 dots the regular violet by pressing down a little hard. Okay, and then I'm also going to make that section a regular violet too. And I'm going to end by lightly coloring, like I did here, just barely pressing down. And that's how you would do each slice. So that one was kind of easy because that one was just regular old violet, and all I had to do was mix black or white with it to get it lighter. Now let's look at red violet. So we didn't have a red violet colored pencil, so we're going to have to use red and then add violet over the top of it, like I did with the black and the white. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to color this red like I did with the violet, but I'm going to go over that pretty hard with violet to create a red violet. Now, don't press down so hard that you can't see the red anymore. If you do that, you'll need to go back and go over it with the red again to bring some of that back. Okay, and then on this one, I'm just going to lightly color. Same thing that I did before. Not pressing down very hard, but going over it a little bit, very lightly, with the red to create a red violet. And then on this one, I'm going to create red violet and go over it with black. So I got to add red first to make it red violet. And then I'm going to go over that with black because I want to make that one darker. So just barely going over it with the black, not very much at all, to make it a darker red violet. And then I'm going to do that again. I'm going to make red violet, and I'm going to go over this one with white, like I did last time. And that's going to lighten it up and make it a lighter red violet, like so. So then you would just repeat it again. This would be the regular red violet like there. The dots would be the lighter version like here. These triangles would be the shade where you add black. This one would be the lighter one where you add white. Regular like this one. Regular again, and then the lighter one. So you're just repeating that pattern. Now, like I said, your pattern does not need to look like mine. You need to create your own creative pattern in each section, like I did with the ruler first. Then you need to go through and add the colors and determine how you're going to do it. Black is for making it darker. Don't use a lot of it. White is for making it lighter. And anytime you have to make an intermediate color, you're going to have to mix the primary and the secondary. That makes it like violet and red makes red violet. You've gotten lucky. They've given you a red-orange, so you don't have to create red-orange like that. Over here, you can just use the straight red-orange. they've given you a yellow-green. So when you get to yellow-green, you don't have to mix yellow and green together to create it. You can just use this one colored pencil. Now, they have given you a light blue. So when you get to blue, if you want to use this instead of going over it with white, you can. Okay? Don't forget that if you do not have all of these colored pencils in your baskets, you are welcome to go to the back of the room, look in the box that's been left for you on the island counter. That's the counter that's in front of the sinks. And if you get stuck, if you want to log into your Remind account on Safari or Google Chrome on your MacBook, you can do that, and you'll be able to send me messages on Remind through the internet on your MacBook without having to get your cell phone out, and that way you won't get in trouble, and I will answer any message that you might have on Remind. You can also get on Google Classroom and you can add class comments to this particular link, and I will answer any class comments that I see. I'll try to make myself available all day long so that I can answer any questions you guys may have. I hope you have a great day. Make sure that you finish this up entirely before you begin to work on your portrait sketchbook assignment. Those are also due at the end of class today, so make sure you stack them in a neat stack in the back of the room on the table that's by itself in front of the island counter. I hope you have a great day. See you all tomorrow.